why you keep to know that I welcome back. It's another self-growth diary entry. This is episode 4, and today we are talking about how to notice patterns in your everyday life, good and bad, and when you're healing. Now that I think about it, I have noticed a few other patterns in my life. When I look at the type of guy that I always see, it's always the same person, or they always look the same in terms of appearance, and it seems like they have those same personalities that carry through. So if you want to know why you keep noticing patterns and why you keep getting them and how to avoid those bad patterns but also notice those good patterns when you are healing or even in just your everyday life, then this podcast episode is for you. The first sub-entry we are going to be talking about is how we notice patterns, or how to notice patterns. The second sub-entry we are going to be talking about today is why we notice patterns. Because sometimes we really just don't know why these things keep happening to us, and we just kind of get overwhelmed and feel anxious when those come again and again and again, and we always ask why. The third sub-entry we're going to be talking about today is how to notice the good and bad patterns, and every single time, every episode, I'm going to start doing this from now on, is number 4, how you act. The number 4, the sub-entry, or the fourth sub-entry we're going to be talking about is how to apply this to your life now and beyond. So let's get into it. The first sub-entry we're talking about is how do you notice patterns? I feel like this is a really big topic on how to notice patterns. I think to notice patterns, you have to be really self-aware and aware of what's going on, like your energy, if you feel like you don't have your energy anymore, if it's draining and all that type of stuff. So how do you notice patterns? Well, I think I always say this in every podcast episode. It's different for everybody, but I think the 3 main things on how you actually notice patterns is number 1, energy, 2, your intuition, and number 3, appearances. So let's talk about the first one, energy, right? If you feel a certain way with a person, right? It can be good and bad as well. You can feel happy with the person. You can feel sad with the person. You can feel angry with that person. You can feel confused about that person. And if you notice yourself going in these patterns, and if you notice that friend eventually leaves, right? And then another new friend comes in and you feel the exact same way with them as you did with your old friend, that's going to be a pattern. If you feel a certain way with the same soul, I would say, it's not the same person because 2 people are not alike. What I mean by the same soul is that they make you feel a certain way. So if you feel happy with the person, then that person will be, or that emotion will travel into other people's souls to make you feel that. And same thing with bad emotions too. If they make you feel worthless, if they make you feel low, if you have a low vibration towards them, you're going to see that with other people even when that person leaves your life. Because the universe works in such mysterious ways. I have noticed, now that I'm being more aware of myself, my energy, and my surroundings, I've noticed that sometimes the same people come in. And I think to not let that happen, to not let the same person coming in with that same energy that you don't like or you do like, you have to stop it if it's bad. if it's a bad energy you don't want and you don't want anymore, you have to stop it. You have to either set a boundary with that person, you have to say no to that person, you can even avoid that person if you want. If it's a good energy you're getting out of the person, it's great. It's great, it's amazing. But always remember that that might not always be their intention, and to always look at nonverbal communication, which is their tone when they speak to you, their body language when they speak to you, if they have their fists clenched when they speak to you, or if they have sudden outbursts that actually show their shadow self and show who they actually are. So the second thing that I was going to talk about was intuition. Guys, trust your intuition. I'm telling you, trust it. Trust it. Please trust it. It's your intuition for a reason, right? If you feel you don't want to be friends with this person anymore, or this person's going to do something bad to you, or you just feel so icky around that person, leave. Just leave. It's going to be hard, just leave. If you feel good about with that person, again, it's fine. I love it, I'm happy for you, but always make sure that that is what they're intending to do, and not use it as a front to somehow get something from you, or to manipulate you, or to take advantage of you. And I've actually noticed this pattern too with my intuition. When I started healing, when I first went on this self-care, self-love journey, I started removing myself from people, from places, and from situations. Now, I had this best friend, right? And let's call her Rose. It's not her real name, by the way. But let's just call her Rose. So me and Rose were best friends, right? And then once I started to get into healing, I actually noticed what her energy was. Like, I actually noticed that she always seems sad. She always is with me. She always has like some sort of negative perspective to bring in. So like, say if I say, oh, I'm so excited to be an adult, to be 18, she would say something like, well, you're not an adult. Not yet. Your frontal lobe does not develop until you're 21. So technically, in the mind, you're still a child. You know, she would offer a negative perspective like that, and she would kind of almost dampen what I was trying to say if it was positive, right? If I was supposed to say a positive thing, she would kind of dampen it. Now, Rose, obviously, she was a good person until I actually started to notice what she does, and she would always use these either backhanded compliments, or would just use this tone of what she was talking about. I think I remember one time where I tried to remove myself from her, and she would keep asking, oh, why are you so mean now? Or, oh, did I do something wrong? Did I make you mad? Or, oh, and do whatever in this. And I honestly felt like she gossiped about me, but you know what, who cares? They're not mean, they would never be mean. But anyways, back onto the topic. She would do that, and I would feel like, why are you doing that? You know, like I was obviously healing, and I would still feel those emotions, like, did I do something wrong? And then I realized, no, I didn't do something wrong. She just wants to do that, and I can't control what her actions are. And I remember this one day. It just takes 2 days for you to figure out who a person actually is. And at that point, I didn't really believe in the universe or God or any religious belief. And I remember that one day I started to feel really icky around her. Like, even when I was brushing my teeth in the morning before going to school, I would feel icky. Like, I would feel like, why do I feel this way towards her? She hasn't done anything wrong. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so icky? Why do I feel so gross around her? And I remember the first day I felt that, and I was like, I don't know why I feel this. Maybe it's just some sort of emotion I'm going through. And then I remembered 2 days later that your intuition matters a lot in what you do and what you're going to do. And I really needed to trust my intuition on this. Like, I felt really icky and gross when I was next to her. And I kind of used that as a guide. I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut her off. Like, I'm not even going to say bye. I'm just going to cut her off like that. I'm not going to talk to her again. I'm not going to do it. So one day I actually did do that. And I remember that's when she was saying, oh, why are you being so mean, blah, 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 you know? And I remember this thing really hit me where she said that, where's the old version of you? I miss that old version. I said, well, she's dead. She's never coming back. Why? I want the old version. I don't want this new version. And I was like, oh, well, I'm the new version. So if you don't want the new version, then sorry, you can't get me at all. Now, those are not the exact words I said, but that's what I was thinking. Okay, so in terms of intuition, trust it. As I yapped about my whole story right then and there, trust your intuition, no matter what. Okay, if you feel like this person is going to make you happy and it's going to make you feel at peace and relaxed, go for it. But if you feel like they do make you feel relaxed, but you just feel an odd way about them, then do some more research. Like, dig deeper into what their habits are and how they are as a person. Now, if you just overall feel like, I don't know, then just leave. Okay, like if you feel that type of way, if you feel gross, if you feel then just leave. Say it doesn't even have to be with people. It can be with places. It can be with homes. It can be with any country, right? If you go to a movie theater and you feel like, hey, I'm gonna have such a good time, then you are gonna have such a good time. But if you later feel like, actually, I don't want to go. I don't feel safe here. There's something weird here. I can't really sense it, but there's something weird here. Then leave. Always, no matter what, if it's energy, intuition, or appearance, plan the exit. I got that from Liz. She said to plan your exit. I super 100% agree with this. Plan your exit. And if you don't plan your exit, that's okay. Just leave. You don't really have to have a plan after. You can just say bye and leave. just leave. Okay? If you plan out your exit, though, it makes some things easier. If you plan your exit, you at least have a plan what you're going to do after, what you're going to try to do, what you're going to try to achieve, what friends you're going to want, But if you don't plan your exit, that's fine. It's okay. Whether you do that or you don't. It's okay. Now, on to number 3, appearance. I know, this must seem really weird, why I talk about appearance and how to notice patterns, but it's actually a really big thing for me. As I said before in the beginning of this episode, every guy that I would like had the same features. It was freaky, honestly. It was weird. They just, now that I think about it, now that I'm going through them in my head, they all look somewhat the same. Like, they don't look exactly the same, but they have the same either skin tone, they have the same height, they have the same hair texture. It's like they almost, I don't know, it's almost like they look the same. They're almost like clones of each other, but the same soul, the same emotions are being carried. And I actually realized, like, the people or the guys that I would like or that I think look cute look the same. Like, they always have the same features. It's super weird. I just realized this like a day ago. And I was like, well, why do they look the same? And I kind of went to the conclusion that it had something to do with my childhood. And again, it's not just all about appearances. It's not about skin tone, color. It's not about height. it's not about that, but it's also about their personality. I think every single time in those guys, they would have the same personality. They seem like they would have the same personality. They were always like a little bit dangerous. They were always a bit weird. It was not a fun time, okay? But going back to the conclusion I made, I feel like it is from your childhood because it stems on to what you didn't have as a child, and you're trying to get that from someone else. If you, for example, didn't have a mother, you want that motherly love. You want someone to love you for who you are, to listen to you, and just to give you validation, and just to check in and say, how are you doing once in a while. And if you didn't have that as a child, that's obviously going to pass on to the rest of your partners. That's what you're going to look for in a partner. You're going to look for safety. You're going to look for caringness. You're going to look for kindness. And you're going to look for all of those qualities in a regular mother, in a partner. Now, the sad thing is you can't get that. You can't get that motherly love from a partner. If you do, or if you try to, it's A, not going to be the same, and B, it's probably going to hurt you both. Now, same thing, if you didn't have a dad while growing up, you don't really know what the expectation for you is, for you to date guys or whatever. You don't have that safety as well. You don't have that protectiveness. You don't have that, like, other perspective. And again, if you try to look for that in a partner, it's again going to hurt you both, and it's not going to be right. If it feels right at the first moment, again, with the intuition thing, if it feels right at the first moment, just make sure it actually is right. And make sure to do your research and dig deeper to who the person, place, or situation actually is. Now, on to the next sub-entry is, why do we get signs? Why do we get patterns? Truth is, guys, I don't really know. We can get patterns for so many reasons. We can get them to change something about ourselves. We can get something to change our perspective. We can get something to change other people's perspective or personality. We can get them we can get them as obstacles. We can get them as opportunities. There's so many signs. There's so many patterns. And I can't give you just one explanation to why you or me notice and receive patterns. I really can't. I really can't. I wish I could, but I don't. There's a different reason for every person, right? I'm guessing for me, why I keep liking the same guy I like, the appearance and everything, I'm guessing it stems from the childhood. I'm guessing it's because my father looked that way and acted that way, and I just really want that in a partner. Like, I'm so used to having that in childhood that I just want it somewhere else. I want another source that has the exact same emotions and personalities stem from it and give it to me. As I said, there's many reasons. It doesn't have to be exactly that. I think if you really truly want to find out the reason why you keep doing that, or why you keep noticing these patterns, is search them up. You can search them up. You can even analyze yourself. You can analyze yourself and see what your tendencies are, what your personality is, and why are you attracted to this? Why do you want this? Why do you feel icky about this? Why? So there is no one answer I can give you. The third sub-entry we're going to be talking about is, how do you notice the good and bad signs? Now, again, just like the last topic we talked about, I can't really tell you what is good and what is bad. There are general explanations from it, so I'll try to give you like a neutral type of I'll try to give you neutral answers. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So I think good patterns can come in, I guess, any shape or form. They can come in dreams. Like one night, maybe you're poor right now, or maybe you're not financially stable right now, and you have a dream about you getting money, about getting abundance, about getting a new life. That might be a sign. And if you keep getting that, then that is a sign. That is a pattern. And I think another form of patterns of another type of pattern can be like angel numbers. Like if you keep saying 111 or 555 or 777, or if you keep seeing those a lot, then I would definitely suggest searching them up and seeing what they mean. I think if you see 111, I think it means new beginnings, I think, and that your manifestations, or like the manifestation portal, is opening, and anything you have in your mind right now, it's going to manifest into reality. And it's kind of just like a reality check of, hey, be mindful of your thoughts, and when you have those thoughts, manifest something else, something that you want. So I think those are really two good patterns, good signs. Another good pattern could be you keep getting a friend that is really happy, that makes you happy, that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel grounded, that makes you feel peaceful, and you keep getting that person throughout your life, but just like different fonts, like same person, different font, then that's a good sign. I would say that's a good sign. Or even if things happen unexpectedly. This could be a good and a bad sign. It could go 50-50 either way. So say if you've really been wanting to cut off a friend that's been making you feel icky, that's making you feel gross, and they just randomly say to you, hey, I'm actually moving to, I don't know, where's the farthest place on earth? They're moving to Paris. I don't know. They're moving to Alabama, right? Then that is the universe. That is God helping you. That, hey, you don't have to do this alone, and I'm helping you. And if you get that, if you get something really unexpected like that, then just know it's a good sign. It's a good pattern to get. And I hate talking about this, but the bad patterns, we don't like the bad patterns, okay? Sometimes those bad patterns are for our own good. Sometimes in our healing journey, they help us heal more. They help us improve ourselves more, and we grow. And I think the first bad sign, as I said, is energy. It's definitely energy. If you feel a certain way with someone and it's bad, or you can't even explain the feeling, okay? I've gotten that feeling before where I've been next to a person and I don't really feel anything, right? And it just seems weird. There's something going on. There's something fishy, okay? Then I think that's a bad sign, that you need to cut them off, you need to remove them, you need to do all of that. I think another bad sign, again, is appearance and personality. Those things are really crucial. Like if you find a partner or a person that looks like you, or that looks like a person that you don't like if you don't like your father, if you don't like your mother, and because they've either abused you, they have been really mean to you, they've caused you anxiety, they've had pressure built on you, and if you get a partner or if you get a friend that looks like that almost, I don't know, has the same features, has the same demeanor as them, then that's a bad sign. That means you need to fix something. Or you don't need to fix, you just need to improve. You need to grow, you need to heal that part of yourself so that doesn't come around anymore. I think another bad sign again is if things happen unexpectedly. If randomly you get a DM from someone, right? And you don't feel a certain way about someone, that's a bad sign. To cut them off, to to improve, to help grow yourself, and to improve yourself. Oh, I forgot. This could be 50-50 as well. Another bad/good sign could be your thoughts. It could be you feel like something's happening. Like for me, I always feel like my family is more broken than it used to be, or I always used to feel like my father cheated on my mother, or that he was just mentally abusing me, and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's happening, but I just feel those things. Like I just feel when that happens, it's just, I don't know, I feel icky and gross again. And if you keep getting thoughts about that, if you keep getting thoughts about something certain like that, then that's also probably a sign. It doesn't need to be a sign. Maybe you are in an emotional state and you can't tell the difference between emotion and facts. So that's why when I always get those thoughts again, I'm like, okay, well, what's a fact? Okay, he's my father. What's another fact? She's my mother. What is another fact? They are married. What is another fact? I'm their child. It's those simple things that if you simply distinct facts from imagination/emotions, then it will make you feel better. It will make you kind of rethink the situation in a somewhat rational type of way. Now, the fourth sub-entry is, how do I actually apply this information I learned to the outside world? Well, as I said in the previous topics, there's not really one specific way. You can apply what you get about appearances and heal yourself from that. So if you keep having a guy that looks the same, if they have blonde hair, blue eyes, and they're short, and you keep having that type of partner around, but they look somewhat different, but it's like that same demeanor, the same aura, and you don't like that, then kind of reflect on yourself. Kind of look in yourself and say, why do I keep seeing this? Your soul always knows why you keep seeing that. Now, obviously, you might not know, and you might not know how to ask your soul, why am I seeing this? And you can even ask God or the universe why you're seeing this. And I really just think you have to look inward in yourself and see where that might have stemmed from. Why do I keep getting these partners? Why do I keep getting these emotions? Why do I keep getting these situations coming back to me? It's almost like they're rebuttals. Like I had them before and now they're gone and boom, they're back. Another way to apply this into life into your everyday life, into now, is really just to heal yourself. Focus on yourself. Heal it. Heal the trauma. Go to a therapist. If you're feeling really emotional right now, if you're feeling really sad, put it into something good. Put it into your musical playing. Put it into your singing. Put it into your craft making. Put it into your editing. Put it into your YouTube videos, like me. Put it into another source that is going to benefit you and that won't harm you. That's a really big thing to heal. And obviously, no person can heal entirely. No exact person can really heal entirely. They really can't. Including me. I can't heal entirely. That's just impossible. There's always going to be some sort of trauma or stress or anxiety that's always going to somewhat follow you, or it's going to be created. So I would definitely say heal yourself, heal what you've been through. And even just talking to someone about it, it doesn't even have to be a therapist. You can even talk to yourself about it. Honestly, that's what I sometimes do. I literally wake up in the middle of the night or before I go to sleep. I'm like, hey, how was your day? Oh, good, but I just noticed another guy that looked the same. Why? Oh, well, maybe it's because my father looked this way and they all look like my father. Or, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm good. Or, it's having those conversations with yourself that makes you feel safe, that makes you kind of reflect in your own way without having to talk to someone, without having to share anything with anyone. It's just with you. And obviously you're comfortable with yourself. And if you're not comfortable with yourself, you need to learn how to do that. And that's why I say heal. So anyways, this has been, I think, a relatively short episode. Honestly, it feels like it's gone by so quick. Maybe it's because I've talked so fast or whatever. So comment down below what other videos you'd like to see from me. I just realized that my third podcast episode said something about me creating an episode, and that was going to be the next episode. But other plans changed, right? See, even that's a sign. That's a good sign. Suddenly, things changed. So this has been a really great talk with you guys. I feel like I've gotten more comfortable talking to a microphone, talking to you guys, and just being here. And I'm really grateful to be here. So I will see you guys in the next Self-Growth Diaries podcast episode. This is, again, episode 4 of this podcast series. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.